Ladies and gentlemen, today 400 acres of forest, the green lungs of Hyderabad, are being razed by bulldozers of greed. Despite a stay on deforestation by the High Court, the Telangana Sarkar, led by Congress's Razed Reddy, allegedly did not stop. We will get you 6 videos which will show you how both the climate and court orders were acts. The first video, posted by a student, is roughly 1 hour after the High Court ordered a halt on felling around 4:30 p.m. last evening. This has been tweeted by multiple ministers in BJP government at the center, by students, by all and sundry, even though many people in the Telangana government are not confirming it. Here you can see JCPs uprooting trees even after the High Court stay. The second video is allegedly from the night hours after the order. Here you can see chopped trees being transported away in the dark of night. The third video accessed is from 7 a.m. this morning, 14.5 hours after the stay order. Here a man can be seen using a chainsaw to fell the tree. Next video, 17 hours 25 minutes after High Court stay, shows JCBs at work still chopping down trees, destroying the eco-sensitive area. As late as 1 p.m. this afternoon did the JCBs start leaving the premises of this disputed area, disputed because the High Court had stopped felling. 20 hours and 30 minutes after the High Court's stay order. This was half an hour before the registrar arrived to inspect. So, ladies and gentlemen, 21 hours after the High Court stay, the butchery of the forest continued allegedly. Look at the irony. This is a Congress-ruled state when Rahul Gandhi calls himself a climate crusader. He complained to the Prime Minister against offshore mining in Kerala, Gujarat and Andaman and Nicobars. Meanwhile, the Congress has called it an attempt to politicize students' protests to gain political mileage. Listen in to the war of words.
He's a habitual offender, where even when the matter is in a court of law, we are appealing to all the real estate companies who are eyeing this land. Please stay away. Because, please don't blame us later that we have not forewarned you. We are forewarning you. This is a policy decision of the BRS, and we will make sure that even if somebody buys it now, we will resume it and we will convert it into Hyderabad's biggest eco park, ensuring that lung spaces there are protected and kept intact.
आज राहुल गांधी से सवाल बनता है, एनवायरनमेंट के ऊपर तो आप बड़ी-बड़ी बातें और लेक्चर देते हैं, लेटर लिखते हैं, एनवायरनमेंट इंपैक्ट असेसमेंट का आप बात करते हैं, आरए फॉरेस्ट की, आज क्यों बोलती बंद है राहुल गांधी आपकी?
Why are BJP and BRS playing politics with the youth, with the students of HCU? That the only way forward is to have a debate. They are only creating a crisis in which ordinary students will be victims, ordinary citizens will be the victims.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate, Nalin Kohli continues to be with us. Tehseen Poonawalla continues to be with us. Syed Asad Abbas joins the debate. Balakrishna Kanukati, ABVP National Convener, also joins the debate. Karthik Reddy, National Spokesperson of the BRS, comes back to the News Hour after a long gap. Thank you very much for joining us. But Tehseen Poonawalla, when we debated this issue about 2 or 3 days ago, you stood staunchly, this land belongs to the government. Today, do you know what the Supreme Court has said? Why was there such a hurry when we have stayed it? The High Court is asking questions of why was felling of the trees continuing after the High Court had stayed it. I want to ask you, what is the hurry? Dal mein kya kala hai? Why are you running to that piece of land? Because have you taken advances for selling it? Because you don't even want to adhere to what the courts are opining on this matter? What's going on?
Navika ji, at the onset, grateful to the Honorable Supreme Court for what it said today. It's stated, but I am telling you this, the truth will in the next 2 or 3 days come out. The court has an opinion on whose land it is. The court is very clear via the writ petition number and the SLP that I told you that this is the land of the government of Telangana. Just let me put the facts across. This land, this 400 acres, was not given by the Congress government, was given by N. Chandrababu Naidu ji to a sports company then, an American-based sports company subsidiary in India. They never developed that piece of land. In lieu of that, 397 acres to the university was given back. It was the university land. Nowhere, Chandrababu Naidu ji then went to court. After that, Congress governments went to court. After that, BRS, this thug, the BRS thugs who want that land now, who are today saying that we will not allow anything to happen. They went to court and their affidavit says it is university land, it is the government land. Why did Ms. KCR's son, KTR ji, not stand up there and say we will not allow it? That's their affidavit on the court. Today when Congress won the land, today because the highest investment is coming in India and Telangana, the BRS thugs who want the land for their real estate friends are today threatening that when they come to power, which they will never come.
I don't know who's the thug here, and please,
you know,
this kind of language. I will read you the language of the Supreme Court today.
And there should be strict action against those who have generated these videos. Do you take responsibility for these videos?
I have said where these videos are sourced from, and the disclaimer is running on them.
Exactly.
And I have
AI-generated videos are being done to help the real estate friends of the BRS.
Oh, and the Supreme Court does not understand
that will come
because Justice Gawai today said we are going to stay the entire matter. You cannot take law into your hands. No further tree felling. Then he said we are stopping everything. No further work can take place here. And if we find that any trees have been cut, the Chief Secretary will go straight from, and he said the rest unsaid. And Supreme Court, while passing the order, said we had taken suo motu cognizance and sought a report from the Registrar of Judicial Activity, who went to the spot, and report taken is on record, and they will pass detailed orders. I want to ask you, Nalin Kohli, what is the big hurry that at night, midnight 2 days ago, they started felling trees? If their land is theirs, nobody was stopping them. There was protest by students. But why at midnight were these trees felled? Why was the felling continuing after the High Court stay yesterday, almost for 21 hours? And then the Supreme Court had to send a registrar to check that place and submit a report. What is going on?
This must have been from the forest bench in, my guess is, the T.N. Godavarman case. This must have been from the forest bench or T.N. Godavarman issue, where Justice Gawai and Justice Masi, they are there and it's held at regular intervals, and it's where all these environment issues come up, where the Central Empowered Committee, its point of view comes in, and there is an amicus curiae assisting the court. So therefore what we now know is that between two constitutional courts, and mind you, all the people there, and particularly in the Congress party, carry the red constitution to say how much they swear by the constitution. So they need to really show the constitution to their government there. That two constitutional courts, being the Honorable High Court of Telangana and being the Honorable Supreme Court, when they are passing orders, work should cease. They have a lawyer who's in court, who only picks up the phone and gives the news instantly if the officials have not already watched it on live on, the telecast. Because all of these proceedings are taking place live. The very fact that they continued chopping it into the dead of the night was to achieve an objective without due process of law and in defiance of the due process of law. So when Justice Gawai, who is going to be Chief Justice of India next month, when he says something unsaid about the Chief Secretary, I think the Telangana government really should take it very, very seriously. And number two, if the Registrar Judicial of the Honorable High Court has been asked to submit a report, and mind you, the Registrar Judicial is a judicial officer. He's from the state, and he's a judge who's appointed to assist the High Court. If he's giving a report and it comes out that this was all done in defiance of what the Honorable High Court said or what the Supreme Court said, I would believe that some officers
but the Supreme Court has noted, and let me read out what the Supreme Court has said. It is difficult difficult to appreciate as to what was the alarming urgency to start the deforestation activity immediately after the said committee was constituted, when the exercise as required under Rule 16(1) of the rules of 2023 was yet to be undertaken. So the deforestation permissions, etc. were not taken. The report of the learned Registrar Judicial of the High Court to Telangana, as well as photographs sent by him, depicts an alarming picture. Huge number of trees are being felled, and apart from huge machinery that is being deployed, which has already destroyed an area of around 100 acres. The report also found that certain number of peacocks, deers and birds are also seen in the said area. These are prima facie indication that there existed a forest inhabited by wild animals. It further shows that there is a lake beside the deforested area and deers are seen beside the lake. Said Asad Abbas, deforestation cannot take place without the requisite environmental clearances. I want to ask you, what is the hurry? What is it that the Congress government of Telangana is trying to hide when in the dark night hours at the strike of midnight they actually go and start deforestation?
Navika ji, there is duplicity and hypocrisy here of the BRS, the Bharatiya Rashtriya Samiti. It is the same BRS, Navika ji, with fought tooth and nail in the courts. And finally, when the Congress government is in power, ruling the Telangana government, they are opposing it. The fact we need to understand that Mr. Kalvakuntla Taraka Rama Rao needs to keep his real estate lobby away. Trying to capitalize this, is it that he wants to stop the development of Telangana? The kind of investment that coming to Telangana is unheard of. One of the finest states in our country today. Also, let me bring to your notice that in the year 2024, last May, Supreme Court gave the order in the favor of Telangana government. The fact of the matter is, the BRS and BJP in Telangana are a part of this syndicate which is coming together.
My friend, everybody may be part of a syndicate. Nobody is asking you questions on that. The Supreme Court, what did Justice Gawai said? He said, while asking a series of pointed questions to the state government and also warning the Chief Secretary that he will be hauled up in case of violations of the court's orders, Justice B.R. Gawai stated, Chief Secretary will go to temporary prison constructed on the same spot near the lake. If the Chief Secretary wants to enjoy the state hospitality, one can't help it. So better ensure that our orders are complied with. I want to ask you, Kartik Reddy, when has such language ever been used by the Supreme Court as in this case? Why are they talking about previous cases and not about this one?
It's the previous cases that these guys are protesting against.
Somehow I believe you have better experts sitting in your studio than the Honorable Supreme Court of India, ma'am. It pains to me to tell you you have two half-knowledge people sitting in your studio or like being part of this debate. One, my good friend Tehseen seems to be in a very bad mood. Buddy, relax. I would suggest a very good BP tablet for you. You have half knowledge of what's happening on the ground. You do not know what's happening in the court. And one of my friend Abbas right now, you claim, yes, the government, please let me speak. You claim that the BRS party, we fought tooth and nail to protect the land from private hands to be part of the government. The forests of the state are also part of the government. Do you understand that? And dear friends, you should also know, as Mr. Nalin just pointed out, please go to please let me finish, ma'am.
Sure, but
ma'am, let me finish. No, I haven't finished my point. I haven't finished my point. I'm not going to yield. Give me a minute. No, give me a minute. I didn't finish.
Sure.
You have to go read the judgment. Godavaram Thirumalpa 2012 versus Union of India. What defines a forest? How do you fell trees? What actually is called a reserved forest? How do you protect a land? Please go and read up. It's very easy to call somebody thugs, but it's not so easy to be smart enough. And your Honorable Chief Minister happens to be a repeat offender. This is not the first time. This is not what the Supreme Court is taking up for the first time. He spoke similarly about the Supreme Court last week. Your Chief Minister wants to sell this land to the real estate brokers. Your Chief Minister wants to make money out of this. You know what? Because you get commissions and kickbacks if you do that.
Big chart, you call them thugs. Now the allegation is back at you. Please respond, Tehseen.
Survey number 25 land has been classified as Kancha Poram Boku Sarkari land under their government, which actually means it is government land, their affidavit in the Honorable High Court. Now, if it is government land, not forest land, where they have put on affidavit, just hold on 1 second, that the previous government gave the university 390.
Do you know what Kanche means? Answer this one question, please. What is Kanche in Telangana Telugu?
It means wasteland.
What is Kanche in Telangana Telugu? Please answer this
It
one
does not
question.
mean forest land, means wasteland.
I'll tell
Well,
you.
I can tell you what the Supreme Court said today.
Land.
Telangana, 1 minute,
You've given it on affidavit.
Tessin, don't go to 2012.
Why?
Please answer this question.
there.
Telangana should answer the following queries of the Supreme Court. What was the compelling urgency to undertake developmental activities, including removal of trees from the said alleged forest area, as to whether for such developmental activities the state has got the environmental impact assessment certificate, as to whether for felling the trees the requisite permission from the forest authorities or any other local statutes has been obtained, as to what is the necessity of having officers at serial number 3, 4, 5, 6 and 10 in the committee constituted in 15th March 2025, in as much as we have, so you've appointed, none of these clearances are there. And may I tell you who are raising the questions? Questions are being raised by Dimple Yadav, your alliance partner, Priyanka Chaturvedi, your alliance partner, and many others. I want to ask you, what is the tearing hurry? What is the motive? What is the motive of this murder of 100 acres of land which had trees?
Thank you, Navika ji. Your question is, what is the hurry? The Honorable Supreme Court judgment in this particular land came in May 2024. And it's been over a year. Now that the IT park is being built, for 21 years there was not a single protest where they gave it to a private player. Today when the government's building an IT park, BRS, because they're going to lose commission, I think, or whatever the reason that they're protesting. But Navika ji, what is the motive behind these fake AI videos, which you are not guaranteeing? But behind, I don't know if they are deer or they are anything, but they are definitely land sharks. Land sharks that want that land.
Well, land sharks can be close to anybody for all I care, but the Supreme Court has asked for requisite clearances, which clearly the government doesn't seem to have. Otherwise, they would have shown it in court. But I have breaking news coming in, coming in from the Telangana government, which has now decided to constitute a committee with a group of ministers, Bhati Vikramaka Garu, Sridhar Babu Garu and Pongu Leti Srinivas Reddy Garu to consult with Hyderabad Central University Executive Committee, JAC and civil society groups, student delegation and all stakeholders to resolve and give a way forward in the Kachi Bauli land. You've had to bend backwards, Tehseen Poonawala. This consultation could have happened earlier, Nalin Kohli. Why is it happening now? Does this rap of the Supreme Court actually buckle the Congress government?
Of course, it's a terrible rap. It's what we call colloquially egg on the face. I mean, it's terrible. Nobody, and least of all, the Chief Secretary of a state, who's the highest bureaucrat and functioning authority in the executive side, in the bureaucracy, to have these kind of comments coming with regard to the absolute, ignoring the court directions, is very, very serious.
Well, on the day, 3 days ago, when the students were protesting, they were rounded up, put into jails. Even journalists reporting there were put into jails. Today, after the Supreme Court rap, the Telangana government has had to take several steps backwards. Now comes actually a committee that will find the way forward with civil society and the students of Hyderabad Central University. If it wasn't for the outrage, well, the government had its bulldozers in place. Felling continued despite court orders. Contempt of court has taken place. And now, does sense prevail? Or is this really trying to do damage control at this stage by the Congress government in Telangana? In the meanwhile, Mr. Rahul Gandhi, where are you? Land acquisition, ecology, climate, environment were your concerns, but not when it happens in a state governed by the Congress. No word, no protest, Not a single tweet? It's a question people of India are asking tonight. We leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining me on the Newshour tonight, and thank you to my panelists and viewers. Good night, but don't go just yet, because the debate in Parliament continues and we'll be up all night to bring you all the details.